Hello everyone and welcome back to Strife Solutions. I'm of course William Strife, and this is Yogscast Complete, or Yog Pack if you prefer. It's a special modded version of Minecraft that we the Yogscast have had made for us. And you can get it off of the AT launcher if you want to play along. Check the description for a link. So, without any other introductions, as you can see, I've been hard at work. Construction is coming along on the oil facility and whatnot. This is where I'm going to be putting tanks on it. You know, like I said before, not exactly something that I'm too interested in showing off too much oil and whatnot. Pretty old thing. I'll probably cover it very, very quickly once I actually have the facility up. But it's coming along. It's coming along, guys. Okay, so last time around, I finished up the farm facility here, and I started decking it out with fertilized dirt. I haven't actually finished that because getting your hands on enough zombie head, just basically sourcing zombie brains, enough of them, is a ridiculous process without spawning the stuff in. So I mean, I'm doing it legit. If anybody else has like full farm fields of fertilized dirt, you know that they are... Ugh, they've definitely not spent enough time. Anyways, that's everything for between episodes. But I've also built this little pen outside because what I need to do this episode is nip in the bud some ranching. So, naturally, this episode's name is ranching, and in order to get this done, first and foremost, I need animals in this pen. Specifically, what I'm after are cows. I'm also going to need chickens. I'm also going to need sheep, and basically any other type of animal that I can potentially get my hands on. But cows are really the number one thing that I want to focus on for now, because they have they can supply a form of nutrition and meat, and I'm actually on my last steak here. So in order to, one of my big problems is that I can't get getting animals up here. Leading them on with a lead is one story. Ooh, I can also get pigs, I almost forgot. I can't really get them up here with a lead because I don't have a staircase, and I'm not about to build one, not until I have an overall plan for where staircases should go. But one of the ways that I can do that is by building safari nets, okay? Now, in order to use the safari net, I'm also going to need a launcher. But once I have, but the safari net will allow me to capture animals and then place them back down. I'm also going to need a vet station, syringes, a slaughterhouse, and a meat packer. And I'll explain what all of these do whenever I get to them. But first off is the safari net. So right off, there are multiple versions of the safari net. There's the jailers, there's the single use, there's this one, this is basically a version of the safari net that already has something inside of it, and you have no earthly idea what's going to come out of it. I think you get something like this from dungeons and whatnot. And of course, there's also the safari net reusable. So the single use is pretty easy. It's leather, string, and a slime ball. But I don't want single use. I have the resources to make reusable safari nets. And this is composed of 4 ender pearls and a gas tier. So one of the things that is interesting about modded Minecraft is that these tiers, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and hop back to the facility. Okay, so like I said, these tiers from Darkcraft, they're dungeon loot. You find them. They might even be rare drops from certain enemies. I'm not entirely certain. But these tiers from Darkcraft, they don't actually have a use beyond brewing. The only alternative thing that you can do with them is run them through the ore dictionary and turn them into gas tiers from standard Minecraft, which is exactly what I need. So if I just go ahead and put an instance of it in there and switch it over, I can turn these gas tiers into... I can turn Darkcraft tiers into gas tiers. And I've also made myself some gassed crops, just in case I need these things for any excess amount down on the farm there. And this is the automatic dictionary converter, just for all of you who are unaware. I made this several episodes back. This is the way that it's made with a book. You can use a pearl for mariculture or an ender pearl, copper, feathers, wooden construction block, etc. So, look that up if you really want to know how. I'm going to go ahead and grab 1 extra gas tier out of here because I want 4 nets. I'm going to use my wondrous little staff of traveling to hop back out very, very quickly here. Okay, so first off, let's make ourselves several of these reusable safari nets. I want 2 of them, no less than 2. I would prefer to have more than that, but, get what you can take. And the next thing that I gotta make is a safari net launcher, because this thing won't actually, it won't do anything. I mean, I can toss it out of my inventory, but I can't actually capture anything without the launcher itself. So, the launcher is composed of gunpowder, plastic sheets, glowstone, iron, and redstone, all of which I have in here. Go ahead and shift-click this, and there we go. I've got myself a safari net launcher. Now all I have to do is hop out into the forest and find myself some cows. Or maybe some pigs. Preferably cows rather than pigs. But I think pigs will do just fine. So, as you can see, I can't... Oh, well, what do you know? That did work. That's a surprise. I didn't think that it would. But the Safari launcher... Learn something new every day. Just because I've messed with the mod doesn't mean that I know everything about it. It's possible to launch this thing to capture hard-to-catch enemies. Right-click, shift-right-click to change the mode. So it's changed to capture mode. There we go. There we go. I've got 2 safari nets with pigs in them. Now I can go ahead and head back to the facility. Okay, so with that done, I can go ahead and take these safari nets, open up the gate, put these pigs down, and I've got lots of carrots inside of the facility, so if I just go ahead and grab a couple of them, I can feed these pigs and, you know, have them start producing offspring. And that's great, you know, that works well. But there's also alternative things that I can do to speed this process up. So SafariNet is done, as well as the launcher. In order to speed this process up is the vet station. So the veterinary station is composed of plastic sheets, a machine frame, a redstone reception coil, some copper, and syringes. The syringes are composed of plastic, rubber bars, and iron ingots. So, okay, there we go. So I should have everything in my inventory to craft this now, keeping in mind that I cannot shift-click this recipe because the syringes don't stack. And there we go, I have a veterinary station. And, oh my, it looks like I didn't completely use up all the gas tiers. That's a mistake on me. I'll go ahead and toss those in the chest. I can make use of them later. Ooh, night has fallen. Okay, so, veterinary station. This thing is pretty useful. Go ahead and pop it down. Okay, and as you can see, the veterinary station has this inventory in it, and the reason why it has that is because you can fill this thing with certain types of syringes that will allow you to quickly grow your babies into, you know, fully matured animals. So I could grow that little pig into a full pig. I could, what is it? Piglet. I can also grow calves into full cows instantaneously. So that's what this is for. But, you know, that's kind of useless if, well, basically, that's one step of the process. It's not entirely useful on its own, but there we go. I've got the vet station. Okay, so syringes off the map as well. Next up is a slaughterhouse. Now, a slaughterhouse is composed of plastic sheets, Invar gear, a machine frame, a reception coil, some swords, and axes. So, obviously, a very lethal machine. So, Invar swords, pretty simple, stick plus Invar ingots. And the axes, same situation. So, but the question may be, how do you make Invar? Well, Invar is a combination of iron and nickel, or iron and ferrous, depends on what you want to use, to make 3 Invar ingots. You can make it in an induction smelter with the ingots or the dust, or you can combine the dust, the iron and the ferrous dust to make Invar blend, which can then be smelted in any normal furnace. So that's your information there. So that naturally means that I have to make a couple of Invar swords, Invar axes, and an Invar gear. Okay, I should have everything, and I'd love to shift-click this, but again, because the Invar swords and axes don't stack, I can't do that, so I have to do it manually. Okay, there we go. I've got myself a slaughterhouse, so that's the next item off of the list. But I'm not going to stop there. I also need to make the meat packer. Here we go. The meat packer, which is composed of another machine frame, a redstone reception coil, a flint and steel, a couple of plastic sheets, and some brick blocks. So, okay, there we go. Now I've got myself a meat packer, but there's also something else that I need to sort out, which is tanks. You'll understand why I need these tanks in a minute, but for the sake of variety, I'm going to utilize thermal expansion tanks instead of all the other alternative tanks that I've used thus far. So your basic portable tank, which holds 8 buckets, is composed of glass and copper. Then you can upgrade the copper tank to an Invar tank, which holds double the amount, and then you can upgrade that again to something that holds double that, and it's just the whole tiered system. Okay, and very, very quickly, I'm also going to need some golden carrots, and I'm going to combine those with my syringes to make growth syringes. So not excessively, I mean, they're expensive, but they're not excessively expensive. It only takes gold nuggets to make the golden carrots, which can then be turned into growth syringes. So what I have to do next is lay down a little bit of a power network. I'll go ahead and skip it for you guys. But what it really comes down to is that I need the slaughterhouse over here, and I need the growth station in the middle back here to cover an area. So I'll get right back to you guys. Okay, so I have been hard at work. I've finished laying down, you know, a rudimentary power network below all of these machines. The slaughterhouse is right here, the veterinary station in the back, and the meat packer up front. And I've got these pipes and these tanks on the side. So you can see that there's already stuff in them because I've been working to make certain that it actually functions. Basically, the slaughterhouse will work indefinitely unless it's shut off, which is the reason why I have this lever on the back here. Because I don't want my pigs killed all the time as soon as they grow up. I want them to stick around so I can breed them, and then I basically want to have, you know, a good old cull. But the thing is, the slaughterhouse does not kill them and collect what they drop. It kills them and it produces liquid meat, or it produces pink slime, which is the reason why I have these two separate tanks here. The way that this works is that you basically hook your pipe up to it and you put one tank on it, and it will eventually fill up with one of the two, pink slime or liquid meat, and then and then eventually the pipe will get backed up with the other of the two, and then you put the other tank on. That way you get two separate tanks filled with different things instead of two tanks filled with the same thing. But that's how that works. As you can see, it produces a very small amount. These tanks, they're measured in micro buckets or millibuckets. I don't remember which one. 1,000 of those equals 1 bucket. So these things hold 32 buckets apiece. And I could directly hook this thing up to the meat packer over here, but but I'm not doing that specifically because I want the meat. I want to manually dump the meat in here. The meat packer is used to turn the liquid meat into meat ingots, which, yes, it's pretty disgusting. It's really disgusting. The whole concept of making a meat ingot, that's disgusting. Okay, just flat out. So, you know, not optimal. It's not the most pretty thing, but at the same time, I'm trying to make discount food that I'm going to be able to sell off to people who really don't know any better. Maybe they think that it's fantastic, you know, the liquid meat, you can form it to look like anything you want. So the pen is full here. There are a bunch of little piglets in it, and I don't think that I covered this earlier. The slaughterhouse will cover a 5x5 area. Obviously, this ranch is more than 5 blocks wide and 5 blocks out from the slaughterhouse, and the same thing can be said for the veterinary station in the back. That being said, it's okay if some of the pigs, you know, are missed. So if I want to draw them all into me, it's not that hard. I just take a carrot, I'll throw the switch on the slaughterhouse, and I just have to wait. This will work. Oh, there we go. Just murdering them left and right, and you can see. Shut it off. And it's left all the babies. That's the great thing about the slaughterhouse. It will kill all of the pigs, but it will not kill the babies. So the babies are going to be left in here to grow up. Now, what I can do is use a golden carrot. I can go ahead and make a growth syringe with one of these, just by combining it with an empty syringe. And I can go ahead and smack one of these pigs, and there you go. I've injected it, and it's turned into an adult. So that's really, really useful, but that's a bit of a pain to have to do manually. So what I can do is I can make multiple growth syringes, then come around the back here to the veterinary station and pop those in, turn it on. Then if I do this again to draw them over to the vet station, you just give it some time and it will work. Oh, there we go. We've got 2 adults all of a sudden. So it will apply the growth syringes automatically for you. Naturally, you still have to manually craft the syringes, And because these syringes don't stack, you're at a limit of 9 inside of the vet station at one time. That being said, there's nothing stopping you from selectively pumping empty syringes out and putting in full syringes in, or setting up an auto-crafting system. So as you can see, this tank, it's got some meat in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift-click it to reclaim it. And I'm going to put it on top of the meat packer. And now I haven't done this before, so it might not work. I'm not entirely certain if I'm doing this right. I just put that on there. And the thing about these portable tanks from thermal expansion is that you can see that there's a color on the edge, and it's blue. Blue basically means that the tank is set to input, and it will only and it won't output its inventory. However, this thing can be set to output if you just right-click it with a wrench, and it'll set it to orange, and you see the liquid is all gone. That sets it to output mode, or easiest way to keep track of that, blue input, orange output, you know, OO. So if I right-click this, it's got meat inside of it, and yep, there we go. It puked out its raw meat ingots into the inventory next to it, so I'll leave that chest there. And as you can see, it's doing its work. It's not instantaneous. It doesn't work right away and off the bat. And it'll consume that straight up until there's no meat left in its inventory, okay? Even though that can't be turned completely into ingots, what it's going to do alternatively... Oh, no, wait. I was completely wrong. Huh, I didn't know. But the point is, these raw meat ingots, they are very efficient. I mean, I've gotten 11 of these raw meat ingots, which I think is more than I had pigs in the pen. I can't actually remember off the top of my head. And for that matter, I need to feed these little piggies and cultivate some more of them. But there you go. That's how you make your... that's how you make raw meat ingots. That's how you slaughter them and grow them up. And you may be asking, what is this pink slime? Why is it producing pink slime? Well, the pink slime serves a very specific purpose. You can turn it into pink slime balls, which is a very high-level crafting item to make some extremely useful machines and equipment in Mine Factory Reloaded. So that's what that is for. I don't know that I will ever make use of it, but you know that that is the reason why it is produced, and the reason why you want to keep your hands on it. And there's very little produced in comparison to the full meat, as would be expected, because it's like the shavings that are left over on the side. So, yeah, there you go. That's Mine Factory Reloaded, and what I'm going to do between now and next time is I'm going to set up additional pens over here for things like sheep and cows and chickens, so that I can have all sorts of livestock on hand when I need them, because I've got plans for livestock in the future that doesn't involve, you know, just cultivating them for their flesh. So anyway, without further ado, I am William Strife, everyone, of Strife Solutions, and like always, Strife Solutions is on the uptick. Another step along the road. Trust me, I'm getting it to the point where I'm going to be fleshing out the main tower, you know, because it is a little bit empty at the current moment. But anyways, I am Strife of Strife Solutions, and I am still making progress. I'll see you guys later in another episode, another time. Bye!